Hey everyone, this is so wonderful to be here as promised. I'm just gonna check whether or not I'm live streaming to the group, to the right group. Yes, I am. Excellent. All right, all right. So yesterday I binge watched the Robbie Williams documentary on Netflix, and Robbie Williams is one of my incredibly guilty pleasures. But I absolutely love the guy. I love his music, and I've been to all his concerts when he is in the Netherlands. I'm there. So, as you may guess, I have followed his entire journey throughout the years because this guy has been, well, not he specifically, like he has been with me, but his music has been with me for the past 25 years. And that therefore I really wanted to watch the documentary. Now, what came to me when I was watching the documentary, and of course, there is a very intense story to tell about addiction, about um, being part of a group, then going away from the group, going solo, doing all kinds of things, testing and trying and doing exhausting tours. And basically, there is so much video footage of this guy. And the documentary, and I don't want to give you too many spoilers, but it's about his life, basically. And what came to me when I was watching the video, and as you may or may not know, I am a 1-3 generator, emotional generator. So I love to respond. And that's why I do this. I do this video because I think it's so important that people know this, not so much about Robbie Williams in general, but about their design. And I think this is a really good example and a painful example as well, because when I was watching it, I was literally crying. This guy was on a path of self-destruction, and all because he was fully out of alignment with his human design. And the thought really didn't leave my mind. What if he had known about his human design? What if he had known this then? Because he was this close to killing himself. So, what if he had known this and he would have been able to be on a path of self-love and acceptance and all of that. But anyway, we all have our own journey to take in this life. I know that, like no other. But this is why I really, really, really feel strongly about knowing your human design, because what it does and what it brings is understanding yourself. You can stop, well, calling yourself broken or not good enough or whatever, because you will see that this is the way you're made. So there's nothing like nothing needs to be fixed, nothing needs to be changed. This is how you are, this is who you are, this is how you are, this is how you operate, this is how you're wired. And that will give you a permission slip to be you, to be yourself, and to fully embrace who you are from the core, who you were when you were born, and to get rid of all the conditioning and all the shit that we pick up over the years, and that you don't need anymore. So this is why I really felt strongly like, I want to do this. I want to create this video. I want to go live. And as you know, as a generator, I need to wait to respond. So this was a great cue to respond to. So hence this live video. And I just want to check whether or not this is going well. Yes, it is. So I just want to see any comments or questions. If you have any questions or comments, do let me know. So here we go. Robbie Williams, I think that he's a great example, because we have like the evidence on video that shows what he did and how he did it. He is from a human design perspective, he is a 1-3 emotional projector. Now, as you may or may not know, being a projector means that you have this innate wisdom, you have this unique view on the world, and you have the ability and the potential to guide others. As a projector, you don't have the sustainable source of energy that generators and manifesting generators do have. Now, in Robbie Williams's case, what happens is that he is being taken on a tour. And when he's young, it's still okay, but even then you can see exhaustion coming in. So he is incredibly tired at some point. And the tours, traveling Europe, doing all these large stadium tours and all of that, it's exhausting for him. And in the documentary, it really shows that he is trying to live up to all the expectations with very energetic people around him, but he doesn't have the energy. He doesn't have the same energy. So he's trying to keep up, but it's exhausting for him. And that's incredibly tough. So he has this tour, like, I don't know, 80, 90 days. And it's crazy. He's traveling Europe, and he's in the UK, and he's not visiting. He's traveling Europe, but he didn't see anything of the cities that he played. So that's a great, I would say, focus point for projectors. You don't have a sustainable source of energy. As a projector, you need enough rest. You need enough sleep. You need to be on your own. You need to be away from the generators and the manifesting generators, because your sacral center, and I'm going to show you in a minute, I'm going to share my screen. Your sacral center is open, it's undefined, it's white. There are many words for it, and there are very nuances. I'm not going to bother you with that. The sacral center is white, and the sacral center is the center for life force and life energy. You reflect and amplify other people's energy. So when you're around a lot of generators and manifesting generators who have a sustainable source of energy, it can be exhausting for you because you're reflecting and amplifying their energy. So being on your own as a projector is incredibly important. You need time alone. You need to sleep. You need to rest. You're not lazy. You need more rest than generators and manifesting generators. In Robbie Williams's case, he doesn't take that rest. So what happens? His body starts protesting. His body starts giving him signs and cues that he's not in alignment. Now, what happens? Because there are many elements at play in his design. He has an open heart center. I'm going to share my screen because I really want you to see this. Where is it? Where is it? Because I want you to see this. Here is his body graph. There we go. Here is his body graph. So this is Robbie Williams. This is his body graph. So this is the sacral center that I talked about. It's white, and therefore he doesn't have the sustainable source of energy that's going on all the time. Another thing that is incredibly important in his design is that he has an open heart center. And an open heart center is all about determination. It's about willpower, and it's the home of the ego. When you have an open heart center, it means that your determination and willpower is not consistent. It is there, but it's not consistent. And another element of having an open heart center is that you're very sensitive to other people's opinions. And that's what is going on in his life all the time. During the entire documentary, and I've known this from interviews, that when people, because that's what the press does, right? They write bad reviews, they write bad articles. They are, the tabloids are incredibly curious about your private life, and if there is nothing exciting to mention, they will come up with something exciting. Whether or not it's true, it's not relevant. But he is incredibly sensitive to that. So with the exhaustion of being a projector, with the judgment coming from all kinds of people, it's exhausting for him. It's exhausting. And what he wants to do, because his body starts to protest, what he starts to do is he wants to numb all these negative feelings. Then there is another element that is at play here. He has an open head. So that's for ideas, inspiration. So there's ideas and inspiration coming in all the time. And he has a defined ashna, which means that his conceptualization is constantly going on. Conceptualization, this is the way we do things. This is the way it should be. This is the way, these are the standards. This is what we need to live up to. So he is measuring the judgment of other people towards his own quality standards. Whereas he is a projector, he is allowed to do things his own way, but he doesn't know that. So he tries to fit into some crazy mold of energetic people who have a sustainable source of energy. And he tries to live up to expectations, the expectations that he has as well from his defined ashna. And of course, that creates like a very bad feeling in his body. Then there are other elements at play in his design. And of course, as a projector, you need to wait for the invitation. You need to wait for the acknowledgement that people recognize you as the expert. Now, what he does, and especially when he's younger, and it shows in concerts, you can just Google it on YouTube, he is shouting to be seen. He is shouting to be valued. He is shouting to be recognized as the expert. So he is, at some point, he is on stage and he's like, I am Robbie Williams. I am a singing songwriter. I am an entertainer. And this is what I do. Da, da, da. So he's shouting like, see me, appreciate me. Whereas the audience, the crowd is already there. His fans are already there. They already value him. They already love him. But he is still like, oh, but see me, see me. And that's what many projectors do. So they have this unique way of doing things. And instead of just doing it and not caring about what other people may think about it, they are like, oh, but you need to see me. So they start screaming and they start shouting. And I see so many projectors doing that, especially online. Like, oh, look at my testimonials. Look at how other people think I'm absolutely brilliant. You don't need that. As a projector, you don't need that. You don't need to shout how great you are. We just want to see you showing it, how great you are. But show it without hope or agenda. Just share it and leave it. That's all you need to do. And that's what Robbie Williams should have done. Create brilliant music, because his music was brilliant. Create the music and then leave it. But no, he's like, no, but I want to be seen. I want to be heard. I want to be valued. And meanwhile, many people came to his concerts, but yet he was constantly striving for the press to write great things about him. At some point, when he takes a break from the whole thing and he announces a kind of comeback, he is so relieved that people are like, oh, we're so happy he's back. And he's like, oh, I'm so happy that they are back, that they look at me and they are happy that I'm back. So, you know, it's this huge need of wanting to be seen. And that in itself is something that we can derive from his design as well, because we can see here, he has the channel of recognition. So gate 41 and gate 30. Gate 41 is the gate of contraction. You can't forget about these names. And this is the gate of feelings. And the gate of feelings is in his conscious design. You can see it's black. So this man feels so much. He feels so much. His emotions are so intense. But having all these open centers, all of them, that is like other energy coming in and influencing him. Here, the judgment of other people, the willpower that comes and goes. And you can see his weight, for instance, fluctuating, coming and going. But it's also the resistance of, no, I want to be clean. I don't want to drink. And then at some point he starts drinking again. It's the same with drugs. Like, oh, no, I don't want to do it anymore. And then at some point he starts using again. So it's all about this inconsistent energy there. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have the willpower. He does, but it's inconsistent. And if he had known this, then he would have been able to surround himself with people who have a defined heart center, for instance, that he can borrow the energy from. Another element that's really important for him is that he has an open G center. And the open G center means that because the G center is all about personality, it's about love, it's about purpose. And in his case, it's white. So it means that there's no consistent energy there. So which means that you can be very flexible in who you are and how you present yourself, how you position yourself. And just look at his career, what he did, being part of a boy band, having all the wonderful ballads, but also having, like the disco-like songs. So he is like agile and he's so flexible and he's so easy to adapt. But that's also a risk, especially when you're around people who tell you, oh, but this is the way we should do it. This is the direction we should be going. But it's also about love. And in the documentary, he shows like, oh, but when I had a girlfriend, I was easily bored because I was like, oh, there's another girlfriend, potential girlfriend. Oh, there's another girlfriend that might be really interesting for me. And that's with the open head, the open heart center, looking for the validation from others, and then not having a clear and consistent image of, okay, this is where I want to be going. It's like going back and forth, like all the time. So this channel here, that I was starting to explain, that the channel of recognition is all about, gate 41 is all about fantasies, about dreams, about creativity. And gate 30 is all about fire, passion, desire. And this is what you can see when he is in his good days. He's creating and he is showing his passion for performing, for entertaining. And that's when he's really in his power because he loves doing it. It starts getting tricky when he wants to do it, when he wants to entertain, to get validated. And that's where the open heart center comes in again. When he wants to get validated and he never gets enough validation, he never gets enough recognition, he never gets enough appreciation. And this is really an important thing, that he feels undervalued and unseen, and he's constantly trying to resolve that feeling. But once he's really into his power, and there are great moments, especially in the documentary, when it shows that he's fully aligned and he's in his power and he creates the beautiful stuff. You can see it in his eyes. His eyes are somehow, I don't know, greener or something when he's doing well. But you can totally see it when he's out of alignment, and his eyes just get kind of alienated, like it doesn't make any connection anymore. But it's also like a projector needing rest, a projector needing to be seen, needing to be validated. And my heart was really breaking for him. I was like, oh my goodness, if you could have known about this, it's all good. Once you really tap into your alignment, in your incredible creativity, and not caring what other people are saying, knowing that you care about what other people are saying is coming from an open heart, and it's not necessarily true. And that's another thing with this open splenic center. It's all about our intuition, but it's also the house of irrational fears. And that's what's going on for him too. So he goes on stage and he feels like, oh my God, they're gonna think it's rubbish. They're gonna think it's shit. They're not gonna like it. Da da da. So he's creating all kinds of scenarios in his mind, where people are dismissing him, and it's so painful to watch that he is so looking for the recognition and the validation, and it was like right in front of him. It was right in front of him. The stadiums were full. People loved him, but still, he was constantly looking for more validation, and that's what led him on a path of self-destruction. Now, there's another element. There's so many elements. I don't want to go into deep in every aspect of his design, even though it's very interesting. He is a 1-3 projector. So the 1 is like here, it's his sun sign, 0.1 and 0.3. So the 1 is his conscious design, the 3 is his unconscious design. The 1 is the investigator. It's the person who really needs a strong and solid foundation. And it's often found in knowledge, experience, skills. And that's what you see in the documentary as well, that he is incredibly frustrated with the fact that he doesn't master an instrument. And I get that, because it gives him the feeling of not being good enough. So and being an entertainer is not good enough. And you can see the 1 playing out throughout the entire documentary. He really wants it to be good, and he's like relentless. And that's why at some point, he leaves Take That, because they have different standards. And he, as a projector, he has a unique view on things. And he doesn't get the validation that he's looking for. Other people are, from his perspective. So he's just going to do it himself. So he breaks away from Take That, and he's just going to do it himself. But he's going to do it in a way that is like, oh, but this needs to be perfect, and this and this and this. So it's the 1 in action, absolutely. And then there is the 3 element in his profile lines. The 3 is all about experimenting, testing, trying, experiencing, learning lessons. So what he sees as failures are not failures. What he sees as failures are just ways for him to find out that it doesn't work. But again, with the open heart, with the relentless tabloids on his back saying, oh, he failed, oh, he messed up, oh, this song is rubbish, this is crap, and da da da. And he is like so beat up by the tabloids, by the press. Whereas with the 3 in his profile, his way to go through life is to experiment, to test, to try, to fail, to get back up again, to do it again, but do it better. So all he did was finding ways that didn't work. It was never failure. And I feel very strongly about that because I have the 1-3 profile as well. And this was a game changer for me, knowing that I am supposed to experiment, to test, to try. And if it doesn't work, it just doesn't work. It's just a way that doesn't work. It's never a failure. It's always a lesson. And for him, I think if Robbie Williams would have known that this is the way he should be moving through life, it would have made such a difference. It would have made such a difference. I'm convinced. But he didn't know. He didn't know. So he just, he just went for it. And he went on this path of self-destruction, and he wanted to numb all the feelings because he was totally out of alignment. He never waited to be invited. He was constantly like initiating and then being frustrated that people didn't see him. In the documentary, you can see him several times saying, "I'm not doing well. I'm depressed. I feel bad. I'm anxious. I'm whatever." But people just don't seem to listen. And that's what happens a lot with projectors when they're not invited or acknowledged. People just they don't hear it. They just don't hear it. So when you are a projector, make sure that people ask for your input, and you can enable them to ask for your input. Like, okay, do you want to know what I feel? You want to know what I have to say about this? Do you know what you want to know my opinion? Those are all ways to have other people asking for your input. And I think that is crucial for a projector, because what happens in the Robbie Williams documentary, he shares, okay, this is how I feel. I feel crappy. I feel anxious. I feel depressed, whatever. But no one really hears it. They don't hear it. They don't hear it. And that's what happens a lot with projectors, especially in groups. When they speak up, no one hears it. No one hears it. And they are like, wait, what? Did someone say anything? And it's weird. It's weird, but this is the way it works for projectors. So in order to be heard, what you can do, first of all, share your knowledge, share your vision without hope or agenda. And especially when you're in a group, don't bother with your energy if you don't get invited. Or if you really want to say something, ask them like, oh, I might have a perspective on this. Would you like to know? And then people will invite you. So I think that is going to be helpful for you as a projector. Or if you have people around you who are projectors, that might be useful to be aware of, that they need to be invited. Invite them, and you don't have to literally invite them, just nodding at them like, okay, I want to hear your opinion. Those kind of non-verbal communications work really well too. What else did I wanted to say? I took notes because I really I really wanted to share everything. I think I've covered most of it. I think I covered most of it. One last thing, his incarnation cross. And the incarnation cross is always a combination of the top 2 gates in your conscious design and the top 2 in your unconscious design. That combination creates your incarnation cross. And his incarnation cross, basically, like his mission in life, he has the right angle cross of contagion. And, again, don't remember the words because it's not that important. But the message for him was to experience your desire. That is the right angle cross of contagion. Experience what you desire, try new things, and be aware of the fact that you have an energy that always wants to say yes. So when you get offered, in Robbie Williams's case, when you get offered drugs, alcohol, whatever, you have a tendency to say yes, which is great to the good things, but not so much for the bad things. So it's all about, becoming aware of, oh, this is how I'm wired. So I have a tendency to say yes. All right, great. So I need to use my authority, my decision-making tool, in his case, emotional. He has the solar plexus defined. So he has emotional authority, which means, especially on bigger decisions, you need to sleep on it. So it's not like, taking decisions on the spot, because when you have emotional authority, there is no truth in the now. You need to sleep on it. Time is your best friend. So the phrase, can I get back to you about that? That is your best friend when you have emotional authority. So knowing that is incredibly helpful, especially for big decisions. You need time. When you have other people have sacral authority or splenic authority, they know, like, in the moment, it's easier to be faster for them. But for you with emotional authority, it's not. So this is what he could have done, is like, take time, retreat, take a step back, make sure to have enough rest in between the gigs. I think that would have made an incredible difference. Even though, I'm really happy to see he's now a happy and proud dad. He's married and he has a lovely wife, and it's all great to see. But seeing his struggle really made me connect to his design and to explain this to you guys. And I hope this was helpful. And if you are a projector, I hope you took away something from this. And or when you have people around you who are projectors, that you really understand them better. And of course, it's always a journey of a lifetime. So yeah, let me know what you think and what you took away from this. And I'll be happy to do some more if you want me to. And yeah, let me know. Tell me in the comments who I should be talking about next, because it's always great to have some celebrity examples to show their human design and explain what's going on for them and learn for ourselves. So thank you for being with me for over 30 minutes. And let me know in the comments what you took away. So I wish you a wonderful day and talk soon.